Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's your host, Rising Oblivion. Today, guys, I'm going to be giving you my full thoughts and how I'm currently feeling about Persona 3 Reload. This game, honestly, has some good, it has some bad, so we're going to go over the different things here in this video. I'm not going to lie to you. I love this game. I love it a whole lot. This might be one of my favorite Atlus games in general. This game is phenomenal. I'm not kidding. It blew me away. My expectations were decent. They were, here or there. I figured because it's Atlus, they've done so well with the Persona series, surely they were going to do us pretty good when it came to remastering one of their biggest, legacy titles. We had seen things like Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, have some things here or there that maybe people didn't like, but I feel like this is truly the direction that Atlus should be going for when it comes to remastering / sort of remaking games. There's HD remasters where it's just like the texture is a bit better, but this, I think, is what people really want. This is what people mean when they want these older titles to come back, and I think this is the perfect example of that. So Persona 3 Reload, we're going to go over the good and go over the bad. I don't think I have a whole lot of bad for this, so I'm sorry if this just sounds like a video where I'm just gloating about this game, but it's honestly so fun. I streamed the game for about 5 hours and I've played it off on my own. I've also played it on PC and the Steam Deck, so I have mostly just PC stuff here, so if there's little nitbits here or there about console stuff, I might not know about that, but I assume it's, easily, optimized for console and whatnot. It's not a very hard game to run, but let's go ahead and jump into this. So first things first, let's just go over the graphics, because honestly, this is so fucking beautiful. It is such a good looking game. If you thought Persona 5 was pretty good or Royal was pretty good, this is even better. Obviously, they're using similar engines and similar ways of how they make their models. A lot of people complained about, oh, this just looks like Persona 5. Well, I think this is just what Atlus's art design is for these current games. If you look at Catherine, it's not all too different, really. You know what I mean? Shin Megami Tensei 5. Shin Megami Tensei 5 tries to go for a different kind of art style, but the 3D models and whatnot are pretty similar in comparison to, like, what we have here for Royal or Reload here. It's not all too different, but this game, I believe, was from the ground up 1080p or possibly even higher resolution for their stuff. Persona 5 was made for more like the PS3 console and technically was ported for something like PS4 or the Switch or whatever else. Those were technically kind of ports. So Persona 5, realistically, it is the first kind of fuller HD type game. Catherine was kind of their first HD game, but this right here truly feels like next-gen graphics for Atlus and Persona, what they're trying to do there. I think Shin Megami Tensei 5 would be as well, but the fact that it's on the Switch, and the Switch's hardware is pretty old, we kind of get what we get with that. Even though I still think that game's very good for what the Switch can do for it, but this game looks amazing. Not only just like the models, but the cutscenes, the menus, what the different personas look like are very good. They're touched up very well. I thought Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Soul Hackers were kind of peak, but this is even better. They really did clean up and touch up pretty much everything in this game. The animations look good, even just things like leveling up or seeing the different cityscapes are so nice in this. The nightlife and the day life, it changes so much and it feels so good when they do that. Let's move on over to the music. We all know Persona has absolute bangers of music, but even the newer tracks, like the new battle theme for this game, it's so good. I don't know how Atlus does it. Somehow they always make, like, every soundtrack has like at least 5 songs where I'm like, yeah, I could listen to, like, that's in my playlist. I'm putting that in my playlist, dude. Like, I'm saving that on my Spotify. Somehow they always do this. I don't know how. How does Atlus always have absolute banger tracks every single game? Even on like their remakes, like Royal, for instance, like Gentle Madman or Out of Kindness, or just even those newer tracks, the battle themes on Royal. It's like, how do they always do this? I don't understand, but yeah, this is the same case. And if we were talking about the old tracks too, they redid some of the old tracks. They added a second verse to the strip mall theme. It's like crazy. I don't know how they did this, and it sounds really good. And they re-recorded some of the vocals. Honestly, it's never sound clearer. The instruments sound better. The vocals, I've noticed for sure, sound so much better. You know how they have kind of that English kind of stuff going on where you're like, I can't understand what they're saying, but it sounds good, like I think Persona 4 Golden kind of does that the most, where it's like, I don't know what's being said here, but I love it. I don't know what it is. I love it, though. Persona 3, you know, the classic one, had similar songs like that, too. But in here, it's very clear, and you could hear it so much better. And it sounds so good here. Whoever re-recorded the vocals for most of these songs did it perfectly. It does sound a lot like the previous tracks. It just sounds much clearer, and you can tell it's someone else singing, but still, it sounds very good to me. I'd prefer to listen to Reload soundtrack over the old one that tells you anything. So that's that for that. So the graphics look good, the music's great. Let's get into some more like actual gameplay type details. So the overworld, and then we have the battle system, right? Let's go over the overworld first and talk a little bit about that. And I think I have some footage right now in the background playing in the overworld. The overworld feels good. The map feels great as well. The perspective that they give on that, going from, you know, the station, the strip mall, to, you know, the actual mall and everything in school and stuff like that, it feels good. It's pretty seamless. If you have like an SSD or something like that in a PC, or you have the next gen consoles, it's like boom, it's really quick, it's seamless, it gets you in there. It does feel more similar to Persona 5 and whatnot, which, you know, a lot of them have this map type stuff, but this feels really good and pretty seamless. It gets you into the game fast, gets you to the places you need to go, and then you go back to the dorm, of course, and you do all your stuff there, which is fun. You still have that experience of the day and night cycle of the game, and there's plenty of stuff to do. They've added a few new things to the different spots of the overworld. They also, I noticed, changed a few of the layouts. The school, for instance, like the actual entrance is changed a little bit. I don't think the school is as confusing. Not that it was super bad or super confusing, but it was definitely not like the best kind of layout, I think. And they changed that up a little bit. I'd say most of the changes they do for Reload in terms of environment and actually changing like certain rooms is for the better. I honestly think that this is the more preferred way to play it. Again, like I said in this video, there's not a lot of bad I can give here. It's Persona 3 just kind of the best it could possibly be. The graphics, the music, the environment, the layout, it's pretty much like the best kind of version of it that you could possibly have. Obviously, there's some things missing. We'll talk about that in the bad part section of this. But overall, it's pretty damn good. But let's talk a little bit now about the nighttime combat, or the, you know, the hidden hour or whatever, the dark hour. Going into that, I know a lot of people were somewhat, you know, speculative about how this would work, because obviously this is done more of like a classic JRPG, you know, like dungeon crawly type pre-generated stuff, right? That's kind of what we're, you know, expecting. Persona 3 and Golden, you know, I think a lot of people don't jump to that because Persona 5, they're so used to having like a normalized layout, right? The layout doesn't just randomly generate for whatever floor you're on or whatever in Royal, right? Neither does like Shin Megami Tensei 5. Like, they stopped doing that kind of stuff where it's like, it's no longer generated. So a lot of people are speculative about this game because they're trying to go back to that old style. And there is a lot of stuff there. Certain floors, I believe, like certain critical floors are completely done and will be static. Like, they'll be the same every time. You know what I mean? Where like a boss fight room is or something like that. The original game was like that too. So not everything is pre-generated. There is some cool stuff here or there, but they added more stuff that you can do. These key fragments, for instance. These key fragments, you can get more and more of them. You can find them in the overworld, and you can also find them in the Tartarus. You can also find them there. And these keys are like specific things that do stuff for you. You can unlock a chest with one. You can, if you have 3 of them, you can unlock like an even bigger chest. If you have, I believe, 7 of them, you can go to the clock and get a complete heal, all of your health, all of your SP. So these like really cool key items that do really specific like buffs for you, right? Like give you a really good item or something like that, and you collect these all throughout. And what it does basically is it grants you something for exploration, which is really cool. This isn't something I realized I needed, but you know what? It's kind of true, because in Persona 5, there's so many little places that I kind of just never went to because it was like, why not? Why do I need to go there? It's just whatever, some back alley of a street that's like, there's probably nothing there really. And a lot of times there are spots like that where there's pretty much just like nothing there. But in this game, you are rewarded for doing so. If you look through every nook and cranny of the overworld, you'll find these key fragments. And if you get, like I said, 1 key fragment can unlock like a good chest, right? If you get 3, you unlock an even better chest. And if you want to spend 7 of them, if your team's doing really bad and you're in Tartarus, like, you want to spend all of the time you can for one day in Tartarus, right, to maximize, you know, all of the XP, your demons leveling up, or personas leveling up, your team getting better, also just getting more items that you can sell, and just money in general. This is what you want to do, right? So these key fragments, if you get 7 of them, you get a full heal and all of your SP back, and you can continue fighting in Tartarus. So it, you know, it rewards you for trying to go through every nook and cranny and exploring in this game and doing more with it, which honestly, this might be one of the coolest features that they added. I would love to see this happen in the future. If they do this with future games, this would be awesome, because it congratulates you for doing, you know, the things that typically nobody else would do. And I love how this game looks, and the exploration is fun. Getting to go around and do different things, it's pretty cool. Also, some other tidbits here. When you're running through the, you know, the actual dungeon itself, there's little pedestals, like these nasty, like, black tree type things that have, like, glowing orbs on it. If you run up and slash and hit those, you will get, like, an item or something. It's kind of random, you don't know for sure. It's similar to Persona 5, how you would, like, steal a vase or something like that, and you'd get some cash, or maybe like a potion or something like that. There's a bunch of those around, and there is special blue ones though, because there's normally like reddish orange that you break them and you get like an item. There are blue ones that will give you those key fragments, and those key fragments, like I said, you can use for pretty much, you know, anything, you know, in terms of getting better loot or just being able to stay longer in Tartarus and getting like a full heal. So it's really cool to do that stuff. That's kind of my segment for the battle. Everything else is pretty similar to what you'd expect. There's a lot of attacks. You attack with your personas. There's a little bit of a difference here, I think, in terms of the elements and stuff for the game, but it's pretty normal in terms of combat. It's the same combat that you love from all the Mega 10 games. It's not all too different, and it's still super fun. Alright, let's move on to the bad things here for this game. And like I said, there's not a lot. I love this game. I've seen a lot of people who are P3 haters, and you know who you are out there. People who didn't like Persona 3 play this game and absolutely love it. And I have to say, hats off to Atlus. People have been giving them shit for the last couple of years, justifiably so with some things. This is great. Please keep doing this, Atlus. And I know a lot of people are going to complain or say it doesn't need it, but I'd play Persona 4 Golden again if it was done exactly like this. I would absolutely love this. Do this with older Mega 10 titles. Do this with like SMT, you know, 1, 2. Let's play all the old games. Do it again. I don't care. Persona 1, the duology of Persona 2. Please, I would love to play this stuff again. It's nice seeing new faces. I mean, they're older faces, right? But it's nice to see that the community's talking about something that's not just Persona 5 all the damn time. It's nice. It is really nice to see something else kind of being shown here, and it's pretty cool. But let's go talk about the negatives here, right? There are a few things. No female main character. Supposedly there's some leaked DLC for that, or people are just hoping and coping that it's a thing. I don't think it necessarily needs it. You know, the base game wasn't about female main character. They'd have to redo all of these socials. Again, would I like for it to be in the game? Absolutely. Do I think it has to have it to be a good game? No, I don't. That's why it's technically a bad thing, right? We're missing out on that. We're not having her there. You could simply just do it as a reskin, maybe, but it would be kind of weird, right? Because the you know, who you're talking to is technically not like Makoto at the time, right? It's just kind of weird. So there's that. There's no the answer in this. I haven't beat the game, so I don't 100% know if maybe they do some conclusions to that. Supposedly there's some like quote-unquote leaked DLC there for that. I'm not too sure. There's a episode Aegis DLC that's in the code of the game, or people are saying that. So again, I'm not saying that's for, you know, actually there at all. You know, I just hope the game's good enough that it kind of wraps it up good on its own. So there's two pieces of content we're kind of missing in terms of the Persona 3, I guess, like, universe that we don't have in this, right? This is supposed to be the definitive version of Persona 3, and it is missing two things that people really like, and it's just not here. So that kind of does suck. Another thing, the classic soundtrack, whether you like it or not, you're getting the remastered versions of the soundtrack here, or the completely re-recorded versions of the soundtrack. You're not getting the old songs. So you are stuck with that. That is kind of a negative there. Another thing is, and this isn't related to actual gameplay, steelbooks. There's no steelbook for this, right? You get the collector's version of the game. I have that, expect an unboxing video here soon, but it's the Aegis edition. There's no steelbook for that. Even if you get like the best collector's editions or deluxe editions or whatever, there's no steelbook. You're stuck having just a normal case. And again, it's not that big. The things that I consider to be bad about this game are not that crazy. Like I said, they did a pretty good job with this game. I still full-heartedly think this is like some of the best work Atlus has done in quite a long time. Probably since P5, honestly. No steelbook. There's some cut content, technically, from the Persona 3 universe that's not in this, and, you know, soundtrack stuff, right? You're not technically playing a remaster. You're playing like a remake, but it's more like a remake like how Final Fantasy VII has been recently, where it's like, we're remaking the game, but we are changing some factors here. We're changing some things that, you know, spots in this game are going to be completely different compared to what it used to be. The music is, you know, at certain points going to be completely different than what it was. It's not a true one-to-one comparison. However, I do think Reload is better than those older versions. I tried a lot of times to get into Persona 3 and I just couldn't do it, whether it's the hardware, playing it on PS3, trying to emulate it, whatever. It just didn't feel fun to do. And Reload, honestly, I think makes this game super fun and one of the best experiences I can have. Not only is this game a good remake, a good retelling of Persona 3, I think it is just a good Atlus game in general, just a good JRPG, like genuinely just a really well-made game. And it's kind of all I can say for it. I'm not shilling to Atlus. I didn't get a code from Atlus this time around or anything, but I just had a really fun experience playing this game. I was going to do like a 1 or 2 hour stream or something like that. I almost ended up streaming the game for 5 hours the first stream I did of this game, and wow, it's fun. It really does have that good loop back and forth of the overworld and playing the game's combat. All of it looks very good, all of it sounds very good. The voice acting, again, this could be something that's kind of a bad, it's different voice actors. They're redoing a lot of things and not just bringing it back. This isn't like a one-to-one remaster remake. There are some differences here, and again, that's maybe more of a negative, but if you like what the changes are, it's a positive. So that is a little bit subjective compared to you. That's why I'm saving this towards the end of the video, because is it good? Is it bad? It really just kind of matters what you like. Did you like the old voice? Do you like the new voice? Do you like the old songs, the new songs? I generally think the whole overall game is a positive for Persona 3 or just JRPGs in general, and for what Atlus is trying to do in terms of direction. Just having day one DLC as well be cosmetic is pretty nice. Cosmetic is pretty nice. I'm glad they're doing that. No day one story DLC like they did Soul Hackers 2 or Shin Megami Tensei 5. You know, I don't know exactly what they do, maybe the answer stuff or the episode Aegis or whatever. At least then they're, you know, developing that and making that come out later if that ends up coming out later. But I think it's gonna be for this video, guys. Gonna have a lot of shorts coming out over the Aegis version of the game, the collector's version. I've been streaming the game, so please like, comment, subscribe, follow the channel to get more of, you know, the streams and stuff like that. I'm going to be covering more and more of this game and more stuff Atlus has down the road. We still have Refantazio to come out this year, so we have more stuff. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is also going to be something I'm going to be playing here on the channel, and once we reach 4,000 subscribers, which I think we're like 13 or 12 away at the time since I've checked, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, giving away a free copy of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So that's just me giving it back a little bit to the community. I'm trying to hit 5K this year, so anything helps. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified. This is my what is good or bad about Persona 3 Reload. And if I had to rank this game, I'd give it like a 9 out of 10, honestly. In terms of JRPGs, it's like a 9 out of 10. It's very good. I don't know what I'd really change, other than maybe adding a few different pieces of content from the past games to make sure that they're in here. So there's not a whole lot that I'd really change, but that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you all so much for watching.